you said one of the keys to therapy working for you is you got to have a relationship with your therapist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Y'all got to have a relationship. Y'all got to
have a relationship.
You have to be able to work for me. Could you elaborate on that a little bit more? Like what you mean by that? Like, you got to be able to relate to me because of my race or my gender or my upbringing. Like, what is it? And has anybody ever said, like, you're not the therapist for me?
So I do believe that. Okay, I'll go with the last question you said. Yeah, I did have a handful of people so far say that I wasn't the therapist for them, and in those situations, those were like very difficult cases where the people had a lot of trauma in their history, and at the time when we crossed paths, I wasn't qualified in the sense to treat them because I wasn't like that trained yet. I was very new in the field at the time, and that's why I was coming across people who was going through extreme shit, and I wasn't qualified to treat them. And at the agency that I was at, I couldn't tell them that I wasn't. So you basically had to just like learn how to treat people really fast in that kind of environment. So I did the best that I could, and no, I was never upset when I was fired, quote unquote, by these people because I only cared about their treatment.
You just wanted them to get the proper help that they
the proper
needed.
help. And then a lot of the times what
That's
therapists
big of
do,
you.
well, a lot of times what therapists do, a lot of the time is that, you know, we feel, you know, if you're out of the scope of our practices of what we call it, or we can't treat you, we just refer you to somebody who can.
I was just about to ask you that. Have you ever turned somebody away like, look, I ain't the one?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, you got
Okay.
to, because, you know, I have my area of expertise, and then you send the person to what they need, you know. So people who have more severe trauma that I work with, I advise them to go seek particular kind of therapist for whatever problem is that they have.
What's your area of expertise?
I don't have one. Well, and I shouldn't say that, but what I work with a lot right now, what I'm very much qualified to treat is like depression, anxiety. I work with a lot of ADHD people.
Is that because
work with a lot of people who have social anxiety too, problems with their relationships in general, trauma, complex trauma. So like a lot of like just traumatic stuff that just keeps happening to a person over the course of their life. I work with that. I do very well with that. That's it so far. I'm going to stick in the area of relationship trauma is what I'm going to specialize in.
Relation as far as with a spouse or with parents or family?
Parents, upbringing, stuff like that, because that's typically where it starts for people within your own family unit is what you learn and see the world as you get older. You use that as like a mapping point of what life is like from your childhood. Yeah.
That's dope. Y'all hear this?
So
Y'all better
relationship
tap
stuff.
in. You came from a fucked up background.
So I work with a lot of that, yeah, and have been.
Tap in.
So I got a question for you. Is it normal for a therapist to need therapy?
Yeah, because if you're in this life on earth as we know it, nobody's came through life unscathed by something. And when you're a therapist and you go to therapy school, if you will, to learn about therapy and stuff, of course, they make us go get therapy so that we can understand what it's like to be in the client's shoes. And then when you do that, that's when you learn, like, oh, shit, I ain't fucking right. So let me fix this shit. So that's what I did. And I started doing that. I actually started doing that before I even actually got to college to study psychology or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure shit was okay. So I started studying psychology, and I was like, oh, no, stuff is not right, but I don't know why it's not right now or whatever. And I just kept learning myself more, and I was like, okay, all right, I need to work on some things. And then I did that. And then I'm okay. But still a work in progress, because we are.
I was just about to ask.
Yeah, we're forever a work in progress.
That's the key, y'all.
And I am too. Yeah.
I'm for sure a work in progress
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
You slip up, you relapse, but you just got to get back on it.
Most definitely.
Yeah. When you're ready to like live your best life, you'll do that. You will. Like you gotta get tired at some point, and you know what? Some people never is able to pull themselves out of the stuff that they're in.
Yeah, a
And
lot
that's
of
just their
people.
journey. Yeah. And that's just what it is.
Cause they addicted to the fucked upness.
Yeah. I
the
mean, I've
toxicness.
known somebody who this person been like addicted since they were like 14 years old, and I don't see it stopping. And it's just what it is for this person. Unfortunately, that's just their journey, and that's how I treat it, and that's what I teach the people around them to treat it as. Meaning that they choose how much they want to be involved with this person or not, because you can't keep carrying this person either.
That tends to be, that's like one of our biggest problems. Like we in a black community, how do you let that person bad for you? You know they toxic. You know they a loved one. It's a family member, and you know they bring you hell. But you can it's like you feel
It's kind of
bad.
sticky because in the black community, we already don't have a lot of unity in the first place because, you know, it's said that the sickest person in the family is as sick as the family is.
Yeah.
Damn, sick. Can you say that one more time?
As sick as the sickest person in the family is as sick as the family is.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So in a sense, you do need that person does need community, because when you give that person collective like love, energy, it is enough to transform that person's energy anyway. And that's all people need, no matter how severe their mental illness is. I do feel that, you know, but because our connections in the black community is like severed and it's not like cohesive anyway, we deal with a lot of psychological trauma as it is. We treat people who have a mental illness in our community as a burden. It is, yes, but if we don't have a history of loving on each other, then that's how it's going to be seen.
Wow. It's a moment of clarity.
A moment of clarity.
Yeah.
So, how do we get the family to continue to love the one that's destroying us? They stealing from us. They breaking the family apart. Even when you try to love them, they fight you. Literally, fight you. When you trying to love them, you try to help them, and they slap you in the face. Literally. How do we give them the love when they may not even be present for it, or when you catch them, it's a fight, literally. So how do we do that to save the family, or we don't? When is it okay for us to cut ties?
If it's okay to cut ties if the person that you're dealing with is exhausting your psychological, physical, or resources. If this person is such a disruption to your life, then it's not working. It's not going to work. Now, if the person's life is like, if the person's psychological state is severely gone, then it means that person is going to need like a guardian of some sort, because the person can't take care of themselves. Then that's when you step in to do that if you want to, or put them in an institution, which we don't have a lot of those hardly at all anyway anymore. But I do believe that I don't want to just lock a person away or throw them away because they're like sick like that or something like that, because they do need love and that support and psychiatric medicine assistance if they can get that. Yes, but you know, if we had all been in the community in the first fucking place, a lot of this shit wouldn't exist anyway.
Yeah. Because I was wondering, too, like a lot of homeless people, I don't believe they homeless just because they couldn't find work or anything. Like, I feel like a lot of homeless people have mental illnesses. So how do we, or is it possible to fix that problem?
I don't know, cause that's probably where they feel home is, the streets.
So a lot of people do feel like home living on the streets is
It's home.
what they supposed to do because they get tired of living life as we live it, paying bills and shit like that. I don't like doing that shit either, but I ain't about to go to the point of being homeless either.
You like trees
I
and
ain't
grass, big ass trees.
Yeah, I
and
like
shit.
trees, you know. So, like, no, I'm not. I ain't trying to be on the street to avoid paying some fucking bills, even though I be feeling like that a lot of days. Like, fuck this shit. But no,
Do you think it could ever get to that point? Do you think it's something that you can go through in life that's just so traumatizing where you just want to give up, or no?
dealing with certain people's energy and what I do could be like that easily, because I haven't came across a person like that is like so far gone yet. I haven't come across that, but I know it's gonna happen. I feel like it's gonna happen. I do, but I haven't come across a person like that yet. Because the people that I'm working with, their disorders are becoming more and more and more severe. So I'm like, okay, it's a matter of time that I'm gonna bump into some energy that I just don't fucking like at all. And it's bound to happen. It's just bound
But
to
you
happen at
can
some
just
point.
pass them to your mans though, right?
But
Or
so
it's a process.
what you were saying that like, is it something so extreme that'll make me stop? You know, it would be something like that, meaning that, you know, this person's energy about themselves, I don't know any other way to explain that, but the energy about themselves is just so fucked up that it just disturbs me. And I did have somebody like that before. Like, this person's energy was just so, it took me like a whole fucking day to shake this person's fucking energy. It was just so nasty. It was just so
I had
bad.
somebody like that.
It was just like I could see the evil in the spirit on the person's face. I'm like, you ain't right. You ain't right. Like, and I like for real, like I saw this person. This person wasn't themselves. They was something else.
I had somebody
Like he was
that.
possessed or something.
Yes, that's the face looked like
I
that.
had a
Like,
kid
you
like
look
that.
possessed.
I had a kid like that.
You look possessed. Get the fuck away from me.
He was a demon.
Yes, but I never seen that person again. But like, that's the kind of energy that I fucking recognize or whatever that I see, and I seen it twice so far in my career. I was like, oh my god, I'm like, it's about to happen soon. Yeah.
So you being go ahead.
No, that's all I was
No,
saying.
Buff was about to say something.
Like I was about to just say, I've seen that in people I know. Like, you know, like when dealing with them on a regular, they selves, but I done seen like family members or friends. It's like they get possessed by a darker side. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's like another spirit takes them over and shit like that.
Yes,
Shit.
it
And it
does.
can be scary. You feel me? Like,
And
damn.
people don't even be knowing it a lot of the time, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole down that too. Like, people like, ugh, like, it's so disgusting. That's what I do for that reason too. Like, help them shake that shit. They don't be knowing what they doing. Like, I feel like mental illness is like a lot of the time like just negative energies and shit on you or whatever, and a lot of that comes from generational trauma and stuff like that, of course, or whatever. And it's just a generational like curse, as they say, a generational curse. Literally, that's what it is, passed down to person. And I just help people shake that shit or whatever.
Do you try to love it away?
So I don't remember. I had read something recently that said something that therapists they didn't call it loving energy. They just said an unconditional positive regard is what we call it. What you're going to see it as is loving energy is what the client is going to see it as. So you're just being present with the person. You see the person. You're really attentive to what they're saying, and they feel heard, understood, and a lot of them feel loved from that. I didn't have some clients say, "Oh, bye, I love you," you know, because that's the energy that they feel or whatever.
What you say back?
I do say I love them too because it's what they need to hear. It's what they need to hear. So I don't mind doing that. If somebody want a hug, I give them a fucking hug or like whatever. I just clean myself after that, you know. So it's no big deal. As in sage myself after that, but it's no big deal. Like, cause that's our job.
That hug probably changed their fucking life.
It does.
Though,
It
for
like
real.
teaches them to trust people again. Like they relearn their sense of self and relationship through you as a therapist, and it helps them go project that out into the world. So it's like you turn their light back on, and then they go back outside and light everybody else up.
No, that's real though. I do the same thing, but the crazy thing I have to be careful as a male, cause like with the girls, I don't do that at all. Like none of
touching.
that, no touching at all, because they could develop emotions and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But like with the boys, I do that or whatever and stuff like that. And it might, I don't know. I just do it for the protection of me, so they can't try to say nothing, or just for safety reasons.
No, I just
and
love
stuff
everybody
like
and
that.
just say, no, I'm not your woman, is what I say. If it goes to that point.
Got you.
Like, I just explained that this is my energy, and I just very loving and accepting
There's
to
nothing
everybody
like
as I am, and that's what people tell me. That's what they pick up from me, or whatever, and that's all it is. And of course, because I am this way, I do attract a lot of people who are romantically interested in me.
I was just about to say, how you deal with that?
I say, I
Do
just
you
create
pass
that.
them along if it get too intense?
I just acknowledge that. Oh, okay. I see you like me or whatever, and that's cool or whatever. But that's just not the space that I'm in right now.
Cause it could also be confusing, because in that man's head, like, you saved me,
Exactly. That's why I
you
don't.
saved me, your energy. I feel like you really love.
That's the
me.
kind of energy that I do have. I have like a saving kind of energy. I understand that or whatever, and that's why I teach people the boundaries of things and stuff through me. You teach people how to treat you through your sense of boundaries of what you will and will not accept.
You Captain Save 'em. I wanna be saved.
Well, that's my job. I'm a counselor, so my job is to save them, So, well, those who want to be saved,
So everybody don't want to be saved.
No. There are people who come to therapy is because they do want to be helped, or saved in some kind of way or whatever
But-
you wanna see it as. But I recognize immediately when a person comes, and after a while you just see they're just truly not ready, because they come across a certain knowing about themselves that they become deeply not ready to like confront, and that's when they drop off, and that's okay, because when they're ready to come back, they'll come back.
So how often is that?
A lot. A lot.
And when they come back, are they coming back a few weeks later, a few days later, a few months, few
All
years,
of
or
that.
what?
All of that. All of that. All of it. All of those time frames. Yeah.
Each
Because they
person different.
remember. They're on their different journey, if you will. That's what I call it, a journey. And I tell them all the time, and I make them feel like, not be so ashamed of taking a break or just quitting altogether. Because when you're ready, you'll be ready.
Sure. So let me ask you, what are your thoughts on time? Do you believe that time heals all?
I do.
I believe that.
I do, but I also think so. Time does heal all, but we need to understand that bad will forever exist too. So there are some people who will never fucking change, and that's okay. All of it goes back to God.
Say that again.
Some people will never fucking change, and it all goes back to God. God accepts good and bad. Now, I ain't saying you should go out there and kill nobody and shit. Of course not. But
What if you
in
got
good,
to?
there's also bad. In light, there's also darkness, and it all goes back to light source or God.
Yeah.
All of it, because it's all here, I feel, to teach us as a collective. I think of us as people as a collective. We are one. And as we grow, God grows. And that's another thing that if you know, you know. As we grow, God grows too.
I've noticed, you speak very highly of God. When you in you know what I'm saying, when you're dealing with your clients, do you bring spirituality into it at all, or no?
Or religion.
I don't. I only do it if they want to. But and I only do it from their perspective, not from my perspective ever. Because what I think, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter, because it's all about knowledge of yourself, not myself. Because what I'm telling you is from my perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people all the time. And when they ask me, well, what should I do? I'm like, I could tell you what to do, but it's from my perspective.
Right.
But I'm not in your life every day to know what you do and what works for you. So I'm here to help you figure that out for you.
And I want to piggyback off Youngin. You said you speak highly of God.
Yes.
You ever beef with God before?
I talk to God like I talk to people. Like I
You
like
calling them a nigga? Like nigga, you tripping?
I do
You
say
got me
that.
fucked up.
I do say that. Why not? This is my relationship with God, and what the fuck y'all was talking about God? What talk about God is wrong. I'm gonna say that, but if you want to believe what you believe, that's okay too. But I don't accept that shit. I don't accept the white man way of what that is. No. I believe that I could talk to God how I want to. God know my heart. He know me, and we talking like we real
That's
people.
that's your man's.
Like what the fuck we doing today? That's how I talk. Like, okay, like, oh, thank you. Like, yeah, like, yes.
Like that's you talk to God like that's your homie.
Yeah, like you. Yes, I do.
Like you be like, God, I'm about to bust this motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm like, God, you better save me because I'm about to go smack this bitch. Like, please,
God,
like, give me all the
please
time
help
in the
me beat
world.
this bitch
Oh,
ass.
help me. Like, should I bust this bitch in her face or not? Like,
And what God
I
say?
ain't gonna-
Do he be like, yeah, get that bitch what she deserve, or do God be like, no, chill, boo, you tripping?
chill, boo, I'm tripping because shit I be wanting to do. The shit I be wanting to do, like, shit, like, no.
So God do be saving hoes out here then.
Well, I ain't no hoe, but
No,
yeah.
not you. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the hoes you talking about busting upside the head.
Yeah,
you go
he
busting
do.
the bitch
He
upside
do.
the
He
head.
do.
That's what I'm
Yeah, because
talking
he
about.
recognize they need another chance in life, and they probably got to do
Oh,
yeah, God save them. Man.
But you know what's
There
funny
is a
though?
God, you
Like
know?
no, like I don't even be trying to go hard on nobody because I know I just like karma. I believe in karma. So you fuck over me.
Buffet don't.
Oh.
He
Yeah, I
said
don't
that
believe
shit
in
don't
karma.
exist.
Everybody who did
Nah,
me wrong, they
when
paying
Kevin
for it.
Samuels died, I ain't gonna lie.
You thought that was karma?
I really
Hell,
do.
fuck yeah, I felt like that was karma.
I do.
Man, they going
No,
crazy
because
on
I
my
was
boy
watching
Kevin.
him.
No, when he died, I swear to God, that
What?
shit kind of
He
fucked me
died.
up.
How?
He died.
Buff, how though?
He died fucking. How? Is
How?
that karma?
Listen,
What you mean?
It's not
How?
karma, but like
you really, real quick, Buff,
No,
you
it
really
was
feel
good.
like
You
that
know
was
what's
karma?
funny about that?
Because he
Not
spoke
funny.
words? That's
no,
crazy.
because he was putting out negative energy.
Yeah, fellas, we
He was
behind.
saying some fucking,
We
he was
behind.
putting out negative vibes.
I was watching one of his videos like right before he died, and I'm
But
sitting
to
up here
die?
looking at this. I was looking at one of his videos. I swear.
To die?
The recent
He
one.
deserved it.
God,
No,
give
listen.
it, God, taketh away.
Wait.
Touching kids,
touching kids.
Wait.
rappers telling niggas killing 1,000 niggas, selling 100
Oh, they on
birds.
that too. Don't worry.
That's-
But I was looking at one of Kevin
Wow.
videos, and I was like,
That's
I said,
crazy.
it was like real
That's 'cause
recent
he was
before he
wearing that
died.
dress.
And I said, looking at one of his videos
They
right
locked
quick.
him up for wearing dresses and pearls. That's what they got.
Hold on.
Tripping.
I said that I was looking at one of his videos, and I was like, if he keep going like this nigga gonna die because
That's
his
wild.
material
No.
is
That's-
so
that's cap.
negative.
Now let me say
That's
Then he
this.
died like
Yeah,
the
that's-
next
that's
week.
cap.
But
These
let me
folks
say
tripping.
this.
Crazy.
I'm saying it's a vibration out here. If you got all these women
Man.
wishing death on you, what you think gonna happen?
No, he had love too, though.
No,
For sure he had love,
I'm
bro.
not
You
saying
don't
he
want
had
a collective
love.
But
thinking
listen-
like that
though.
about
Okay, so we
You got all these people
gotta
in
talk
the
about it.
world
Yes.
vibrating. I
It's
want to
the black
kill this
woman.
nigga.
It's the
I wish
black
this
woman.
nigga was dead.
They hated
I
him.
need to kill this nigga. You got all these people putting that vibration on you.
But what about
You don't
the
want
rapists? Why they still
Yeah,
alive?
man,
No.
it's cap.
That don't
All
mean
of
that
this
they
is
don't
cap.
suffer.
Don't nobody give a fuck about that
It
rapist.
But
don't
they
mean
should.
that they not suffering.
Yeah.
Nah.
We just don't see it.
They
Dog,
still
what
out
I'm
here
saying
fucking
is-
kids living a hell of a
Bro,
life.
energy.
Oh,
But
no.
look though.
You feel me?
But look though.
They
And
alone
had a
by
good
themselves.
funeral.
They
Look
got
though.
no fucking body. They body deteriorate.
Yeah, but look,
Yeah.
you got that one nigga who he got child pornography, but don't nobody know about
I
him.
knew a fucking
You
child
got
rapist,
Ke-
and this nigga died of cancer.
Yeah, but you got Kevin Samuels. He's a public figure now. Now you got all these women who's vibrating hate.
Black women,
towards
not
you.
all
Yeah.
black women.
Even black women.
Black
You
women.
don't fuck with a black
Black
No,
woman.
women.
it's
Listen,
women.
yeah,
It's
y'all-
black
yo,
women
listen.
who know
Magical.
voodoo.
Man,
it's black
yeah,
women
but-
who know how to put roots on motherfuckers.
But that
all
don't
type
make
of
it
shit.
right.
We
Just
magical.
because they manifested that death on that man, that don't mean
No,
that that's
the power
karma.
of the tongue.
I
Y'all
didn't
heard of
say it
that?
was right.
Y'all heard of that? The
I didn't
power
say it
of
was
the
right.
tongue.
I'm just
You gotta be
saying.
careful what you put out there, what you
Yeah,
speak, and that's
for
what
sure.
he's saying.
I
If a
didn't-
lot of women want him dead,
But
and they
yes,
just
but
speak
why?
that and speak that,
But I got a
I
question.
feel like it's voodoo on me right now.
Why
I
the
ain't
black
gonna lie.
women? Look. Why the black
I'm about to
women?
sage myself.
Look, why the black women be so hard on a black man but so forgiving of the white man? Why y'all ain't got that same energy towards him?
You know
Say that
why?
again. Hold on,
You know
say
why?
that again.
You know why? I heard him. You know why?
you heard
You
him.
know why? Because all the other races were taught to be respected, but the black people were put at the bottom of the totem pole. So the black man is like, I don't even know. I never thought about it. I think the black women are at the bottom. No, the black men are at the bottom, then it's the black woman, then it's like everybody else or whatever like that. And that's why it is, because if you ever paid attention, when first of all, other races don't talk about their women the way black men talk about black women. They more so like keep that
Vice
to
versa.
themselves,
It's
you
the
know?
same way.
Like, yeah, but it's like the black people are made to be like a mockery
For sure.
of sorts or whatever. But you never hear this from other races, and that's what disgusts me. It does. You don't hear a white man putting down a white woman, even
Ever.
though she might not be shit. But
Ever.
you will never see that.
Ever.
You'll never
Even
see
a rapist. None of
You'll
them.
never see a Mexican. You'll never see a Chinese. You'll never see any of these races putting down their women the way we put each other down, because we're made to be like the scapegoat, if you will, or whatever, or just to be. No, I don't want to say scapegoat. We're in a position where we're forced by society of whatever kind to keep us below our value, because we are the shit. We are the kings and queens.
Shout out to
and
y'all.
that's what America and the world don't want black people to know about ourselves. You have to learn who you are. You have to step into your fucking power, and that's what I want to help black people do.
Yeah.
Yes. When I
Shout out
started
to
learning
you,
about
queen.
that shit, I was like, wow. I'm like, when you start learning shit, you just can't unsee shit. You just can't unsee how the ways we are kept at a subservient level and made to fight amongst ourselves so that we don't become the great people and great families that we can be.
And they try to keep us drunk, high.
Yeah, and that's and
They
come
tryna
on, I
keep
came
us-
from that. I could easily be that, but I think it was God. I'm like, I don't want to do none of that bullshit y'all doing. I don't fuck with none of that shit. I'm not about to be busting out no windows. I'm not about to be fucking stealing. I know I'm more than this tumbleweed of grass or shit or whatever the fuck it is that go up the street and shit, the tumbleweed of trash. I'm more than this lifestyle. I used to tell myself at a very young age, I'm like, fuck this. I'm never gonna be this poor again. Never in my fucking life. We weren't we weren't poor, you know. We weren't poor, you know, by a lot of standards or whatever. But it's just that it was rough. But I had food, I had clothes, I went to school, you know. So you know, and a lot of people don't even have that.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
grateful, but
they don't.
circumstances
They didn't
was
have
fucked
that.
up
But
still.
but you know, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I was a protector from a lot of stuff that I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that shit. Like, nah, I ain't. No, I'm gonna just go to school. That's what I kept telling myself: go to school, go to school, go to school, or whatever.
And now you got your own shit.
Yeah,
You in the process of building.
yeah, an
your-
empire.
Your own empire.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You done saved many lives and many more to save. We appreciate you for coming on here, giving us a moment of clarity.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
We appreciate you giving us your time, telling us about ourselves, giving us game on knowledge of self, and we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Alicia on TikTok and Instagram and all the social medias where you can find me, because I'm not on everywhere, but you will find me because somebody helped me out and get me together.
You said is Delisha everywhere?
Oh, Delisha Isabel, Knowledge of Self LLC, Instagram, TikTok, and I'm gonna get it together, y'all. I'll be open in a few months. So for those who need to use insurance, I'm getting some insurance is in the process of getting that so I can receive you guys.
And for cash, how much you charge an hour?
$165 an hour, cash.
Cash money.
Yeah, 60 minutes, 165.
All right, y'all
Yes.
heard it here. We gonna make sure she in the description too, so y'all can tap in if y'all need help. And we out.
We gone. Moment of clarity.
A moment of clarity.